Why would they want to imitate that?
Yes. Why would anyone follow me if this is making me miserable? And I tried to justify it by saying, no, the happiness is for the people that I'm teaching, the kids.
You know, I was talking to a member of my production team this morning about, you know, seminars and places where they'll tell you how to become the pastor of a mega church, for instance.
Yeah.
You know, and young men will flock to that because that's what they want.
Yes.
They want to be the next Robert Jeffress, or they want to be the next Greg Laurie, or the next Rick Warren. So here's how here's a paint by numbers way to become the next pastor of a mega church. And a lot of times what they don't realize is that, you know, the guys that developed these large churches, they might have developed those large churches almost kind of by accident, not because they had some kind of strategy, but because they simply focused on God, followed him, did what God wanted them to do, and then the fruit came out of that.
Yep. And the notion that, well, if I had that kind of success, then I would be happy. Okay, if you aren't happy without the success, you won't be happy with it. You know, if you haven't found happiness solely in your relationship with Christ, anything else you think will make you happy will only break your heart. You know, and that's the reality of saying, okay, am I okay? I'll have kids come up to me at colleges when I speak at colleges and say, here's my dream. I want to do this movie. I want to do this ministry. I want to do this thing. And they want advice on how to do it. And instead I say, would you be okay if that never happens? And by the look in their eyes, when I ask that question, I can tell how tightly they are holding on to that idea. They say, well, open your hands up, give it to God, make him hold tightly to God, because he's the only thing who won't break your heart. You know, any idea will break your heart when it falls apart, and most ideas fall apart, and that's okay.
Well, let's bring us up to the present, Phil. Talking here with Phil Vischer, who is the creator and founder of the Veggie Tales. And Phil, you were suggesting this morning, tell us this morning about kind of the latest project that you're working on, which excites me, and I think it'll be exciting to the parents that are listening to us now. So tell us what God has brought you to do with yourself these days.
He brought me into a couple of things. The first was looking back at Veggie Tales and saying, okay, that was a great way to tell individual Bible stories, but it wasn't a good format for actually telling the entire arc of Scripture, you know, or getting into really difficult concepts like what is sanctification and how does it work? You know, that are the nuts and bolts of our faith. So I kind of wondered, did I just spend 10 years trying to convince kids to behave Christianly without actually teaching them Christianity?
So you were thinking it can be a little bit difficult to communicate sanctification using a cucumber, is what you're saying.
That's in essence what I'm saying. And so I thought, okay, how could I teach that? How can I go deeper? I need a format for going deeper. And I started looking, I'm a big Disney fan, so I started looking at the Walt Disney shows from the 1950s. Sunday night on ABC, Walt Disney would sit on the corner of his desk, and all America would sit down and watch, and he would either do a Western or play old Disney cartoons, or sometimes he did a 4-part series on how man will reach the moon. And they were educational specials that all America watched together, and all America got excited about going to the moon from watching Walt Disney. I thought, well, what if Walt Disney created a series of specials to tell historical Christianity to America's families? What would that look like? And so I'm doing a new series. It's called What's in the Bible? And it walks kids and families all the way through the Bible from Genesis to Revelation and answers all their big questions and defines all these key terms like what is sanctification, what is redemption, what is salvation, so kids know what these words mean when they hear them in big church. And then asks really tough questions like what's with all the weird rules in the book of Leviticus and why do we have to follow some but we don't have to follow others, like not eating bacon or not trimming your beard. And questions like, why was it okay for the Israelites to kill all those Canaanites? You know, the kinds of questions that will knock a kid's faith out from under them when they hit high school.
So these kids that watch these series may wind up having answers to some of these questions that seminary professors don't have.
Yes, preemptively giving them. I've had people write me and say, I learned more watching What's in the Bible than I did in seminary. In fact, we've described it because it's a mix of puppets and animation. We've described it as the Muppets Go to Seminary.
The Muppets Go to Seminary.
Yes, Kermit the Frog gets an MDiv.
So you use puppets?
I use puppets. I've got Buck Denver.
This is Buck Denver. I'm a newsman. I'm not quite as bright as I think I am, but I'm doing my best.
Who is kind of, if you're my age, he's Ted Baxter from the Mary Tyler Moore Show. If you're a younger generation, he's Stephen Colbert. He's a newsman. And then we have a 72-year-old Southern Baptist Sunday school teacher. Hello, this is Sunday school lady, and I have a magic flannel graph, and I'm not afraid to use it. And so it's a whole bunch of different characters that kind of represent the diversity of the church. You know, there's an Anglican priest, there's a Pentecostal minister, there's a Southern Baptist Sunday school teacher, there's 2 British archaeologist brothers, and they walk kids through the entire Bible, every book in the Bible, including the Song of Solomon for kids, which was a real challenge.
That must have been a challenge. So,
and the goal is to give kids a foundation for their faith that they can carry through the rest of their lives.
Just one kind of side note question. How long have you do a lot of the voices, I take
do. That's correct.
How did you just start doing that as a kid?
I was like 5 or
it?
6. I started imitating Sesame Street characters.
Okay.
I started with lovable fairy old Grover.
And then, hi-ho, Kermit the Frog here. So I found that I had a somewhat flexible voice when I was fairly little. And I'm also shy, so I didn't want to work with other people. So I was like, I'll just do the voices. I'll just do the voices myself. Yeah, so I'm about 20 voices in Veggie Tales and about 15 voices in What's in the Bible.
Well, as I remember, you were saying that even after you sold the Veggie Tales, the people that bought it brought you back to do some of the voices.
Yeah, I'm still coming back to do the voices, which was hard at first because, of course, I wanted to be in charge.
That's your baby.
Like, I should be in charge of this. I think it's God's will for me to be in charge of this. And what God had to reveal to me, and it took, ego is a powerful thing. And to say, was mine, and I'm the guy, and I should be in charge of this. And I wanted to walk away just because they said, no, you're not going to be in charge. I said, well, fine, I'm done. I'm done. Then you can just try to make it without me. Good luck with that. And God spoke to me actually through the book of Jeremiah and the letter Jeremiah wrote to the exiles in Babylon, where he said, settle down, make peace with the new city I have brought you into, and pray for the success of that city, for if it prospers, you will prosper also. I was like, oh, you're kidding me.
You have to, really?
You want me to help them? And what I realized was God was setting up this relationship to be my source of provision for the next chapter of my ministry. That it was no longer my ministry, it was how I would fund my ministry.
Got about 30 seconds left, Phil. Tell us how people can get more information about this latest project. Where can
you
they go?
Go to philvischer.com, and you can learn all about me and all about the other stuff I'm doing, or what'sinthebible.com.
And spell Vischer for people?
Vischer.
Okay, philvischer.com.
That's me, yes.
Get all the information that you need. That's Vischer, just like Fisher. I spell mine with an F. Phil spells his with a V. My guest has been Phil Vischer, who is the creator and founder of Veggie Tales, now working on a brand new project. Find out more about it at philvischer.com. Phil, thanks for dropping by to chat with us.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Focal Point After Talk. We'll be right back after these messages. Stay with us.